Hi guys, today we're going to be doing a short video on the control panel and kind of the basics of that. It provides a lot of options. Basically what the control panel is it is a tool that the GUI provides, the graphical user interface, that allows you to configure your computer up to a fairly professional level using the GUI. You don't have to use the command line interface then. And there's a lot of different things you can do with it. And I'm going to show you all of the things that you can do with a Windows 8.1 version. And let's get. Alright, so in Windows 8, finding anything can sometimes get a little bit confusing. But there are many different ways that you can find the control panel, so we're just going to kind of quickly go through them. First of all, you can search for anything in the panel. Boom, found the control panel. Also, you can do that same thing, go to Settings, and then go to Control Panel. Boom. You can also, my personal favorite, is you can right-click on the Windows button. And this brings you to all sorts of goodies little up here. But one of them takes you directly to the control panel. Now you got System and Security, Network and Internet, Hardware and Sound, Programs, User Accounts and Family Safety, Appearance and Personalization, Clock Location and Region, and Ease of Access. And the first one that we're going to look at today is Ease of Access. Alright, Ease of Access is for people with video or audio problems. So it allows you to customize the video or audio of your computer. It's a pretty...
Always scan this section.
See, because this was checked, it read it out loud. I'm going to uncheck those. But the whole point being, like, in the Ease of Access section, these are the quick access common tools that someone who has hearing or seeing problems might use on a regular basis. So from here you can do things like start narrator. Narrator reads all of the text that is on the screen. You can also get it so that you can also get an audio descriptor that tells you what videos are happening. You can turn on the magnifier, which is pretty weird. But see, it just magnifies everything that I'm doing. You can change the magnifier as well to have different views, see? So this is actually really good for you or any family members you have that don't have such good sight. It really helps. Okay, you can also set up high contrast, which basically turns your entire computer into black and white. You can use the computer without a display, which basically means the computer comes with software to obey commands from your voice, to obey voice commands, and that can be pretty useful. Making the keyboard easier to use, this is where you get things like sticky keys, toggle keys, and filter keys. Sticky keys you might have heard of before. If you've pressed shift one too many times, it says turn on sticky keys. And you're like, no, what did I do? Sticky keys allows it so that when you press Control or Alt or the Windows button, that you only have to press them once, but they'll stay pressed in the computer's mind. So if you don't know that you have it turned on, it can be a real problem, but it can also be very useful if you have it turned on purpose. Toggle keys makes you hear a tone when you press caps lock, num lock, or scroll lock. Basically, it allows anyone who doesn't know how to type really well, they'll hear that tone when they press the button on accident, and it'll alert them to what they did. And then you can also turn on filter keys, which is once again for really bad typers. Like, say that you had a stroke once and you want to keep typing, but you keep hitting the same keys over and over again and you can't really make sense of what you're doing. The computer filter keys helps to try to fix that. Alright, so ease of access, you can also turn on the on-screen keyboard so you can click on the keyboard instead. But ease of access is for making the computer easier to access. Ha ha ha. It's really good for people that aren't comfortable with computers or don't really know what's going on, or just need a little help getting through. This also has the speech recognition section, like I told you before. So it'll help you set up a microphone as well. But you can also set up a microphone in Hardware and Sound. Hardware and Sound is actually pretty cool. It allows you to configure everything physical that's in your computer. Devices and printers allows you to configure, like here's my little webcam right here. It allows you to configure your routers and your specs about computers, but it allows you to add things like your printers and any fax machines, change autoplay functions, which can be pretty cool. I pretty much just have mine to tell me what to do every time. See? Which I like. Just your sound system. So like if your speakers are giving you trouble, this is where you would go to fix it. Power options basically change your hibernation or your sleep options. If you have a laptop with a battery, that's where this would be. Display is where you'll change what your screen looks like, so you can do things like adjust your resolution, change your color, change the type of text that you have on the screen. And if you have things like multiple monitors, that's where you would go to it. Location settings, basically the computer can tell where you are. And if you want to have that not be a thing, you can turn that on or off here. And then the audio manager is just another thing that my computer puts in to help with that. Okay, and the a really cool thing in the hardware and sound section is this is where you find the device manager. And what the device manager does is it gives you a nice little list of all the hardware that is interacting with your computer in some way. So like here's my disk drives, here's my display adapters, here's my processor. And if you want to, you can do things from here, like try to update your driver. I'm not logged in as an admin right now, so I can't do it, but if you are logged in as an admin, you can do that. And Device Manager gives you a nice little tool about this. And I'll go more into Device Manager later, but the important thing for now is Device Manager is found in Hardware and Sound. Alright, System and Security. This is where you'll find, if you want to, basic information about your computer, which helps. So you'll want to go to System. I have Windows 8.1, and it gives things like your computer name and all sorts of good stuff, which you can change from there. Windows Firewall will adjust all of your firewall settings. Windows Update, that's how you get Windows Update, and you can configure it to turn on or off, to update automatically or to ask you every time. Power Options is also available here. You can find power options in more than one area. And so basically anything you want to do that adds security to your system, System and Security will. Okay, network and internet. This is where you do things like go find your network and sharing center, which is where you can set up different computers to share files with if you want to. It's also where you can troubleshoot any of your internet problems. Like for instance, I had problems with my VirtualBox getting on the internet once, so I needed to go to change adapter settings over here to fix that. Home group, this is another networking option. Internet options, like the change your homepage thing, this is all for Internet Explorer. So if you use a different browser than Explorer, then this doesn't really apply to you, but it is nice that you can influence your browser from your computer here. All right. The programs panel is pretty cool. It allows you to manipulate programs that you have running on your computer. Probably the most useful of these that a lot of people use is uninstall or change a program. So if you like installed a video player or something that you don't like anymore, to properly uninstall it from your program, this is where you would go. This is also where you would like delete different games that you installed on there as well. This is also where you can do the turn Windows features on and off thing, which can get quite serious. Proceed with caution. But that's where you can do things like turn your Telnet server on or off. You can turn FTP on or off. You can turn Windows Explorer on or off. Different things like that. The default programs section changes what default programs run when you run certain files. Like if you have more than one video player on there and you don't want the computer to ask you every time, you can set it for that, and you can change the autoplay settings here as well. Alright, that's programs. User accounts and family safety is another basically security type. This is where you can do things like set up permissions, and you can change account types. Basically, you always want to have one admin account on your system. If you have more than one, you should probably change that. Family safety is all about parental controls, blocking certain websites, stuff like that. So it's basically, it's another security feature, but it's all about permissions. Which users have access to what? Alright? Appearance and personalization. This is where you can do things like change the theme of your desktop. Theme is all about, it's like a little package, like this is what your desktop will look like now. You can change your background, you can change sound effects, you can change screensaver. It's very much tied in with display, but display is a little bit more serious. That you can do things like adjust your color and your resolution when display, when personalization is more about like, I really want this background. Taskbar and navigation, this can be pretty cool if you really care. This is your taskbar down here, so this is where you can customize this. Your ease of access center is in your personalization section, and also back here on its own. A lot of the control panel works with each other. You can find multiple things in multiple places. If it thinks that you might look for something here, then Microsoft goes ahead and does that for you. Also, folder options is here, which can be very important sometimes. Like if you want to show hidden folders, that's where you're going to do that. If you want to not show hidden folders, that's where you're going to want to do that. Also, you can change the fonts of your computer from here. So if you want like bubble font on your entire computer, right there. Booyah, isn't that great? Clock language and region is pretty basic. It just allows you to set the date and time of your computer, the language of your computer, and if you care about your location, the section of your computer. Mine already has a pretty good guess that I'm in North America, but if you want to change that, no problem. Say you live in Indonesia and you order a desktop off of Newegg, and you're trying to customize that for yourself, this is the thing that you're going to need to change. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the control panel. And I'm going to go more in depth about certain functions later, but as you can see, you can configure and manipulate a lot of different things about your computer just from your control panel. So if you're really trying to be like, oh, I just want to change my default program for that, just go looking around in your control panel. You can do a lot of rooting around without making any damage. You know, just be careful. And let's see. And I hope that this video really helps you with that. You can change your display and the different things that your computer looks like. You can display the different features and functions that it will do. You can manipulate your connections, your file sharing, and your internet, and your security and your firewall. You can really get down and dirty to what your computer's doing. The computer allows you to have a lot of control and personalization over it. You just have to get down there and get into it. All right? Hope you had a good time. It was a pleasure making this video for you. Have a good one.